All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. How are you all? We are so excited to be here tonight. Give me a moment. Let me make sure we're live on all of our platforms so that we can make sure we get the greatest reach of all out of them. And so out of this broadcast, because we know that lives are going to be changed, that people will never, ever, ever be the same again. And so we want to, first of all, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this. We know that some of you have been waiting. We had some technical misunderstandings, but we are here and we're excited. And so, yes, we're going to go right into our broadcast tonight. And again, everybody knows I am Natalie B. Green. I'm also known as the Shift Mentor. And I'm so glad that you have joined us tonight for this powerful Max Life moment with Natalie B. Green. Now, I can barely hold myself together because tonight we're having a conversation that does not happen often enough, especially in the kingdom, especially in the body of Christ. We're talking about feelings tonight. We walk by faith and not by sight, and we're not moved by our feelings and all of those things. That's what we're taught, and to a degree, that is correct. Our feelings do matter, and they are valid. And so we're going to talk about them tonight. We talk about success, we talk about purpose, but we rarely talk about the emotional wounds that we carry, whether we are leaders, especially leaders, as well as lay members, and as well as just regular, everyday, regular Joes. We don't get permission to talk about the wounds that we carry and how those wounds quietly show up in our lives, in our relationships, in our habits, in our behaviors, right? And how it is that it just wreaks havoc in our life when we don't really understand why. So we are going to have that conversation tonight. And it's not just a conversation, it's a safe space. You can be vulnerable with yourself. I don't know if you're in the group, wherever you are, but get into a place where you feel safe right now. Right? And so that once you begin to walk through this with us, you'll be okay. You'll know that you're good, and we're going to take good care of you. This is a moment of awareness. And for some of you, it may be the beginning of your healing journey, right? So a little housekeeping before we get started. Do us a favor. Number one, in the comments, tell us where you're watching from. Tell us where you're watching from. That's the first thing. The next thing is go ahead and put some hearts on here. We love this broadcast because you will. And then go ahead and share it with as many people as you can. Share it with your social media platforms. Get the word out that it's okay to talk about your feelings, right? Because this topic is going to be life-changing. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest tonight. I'm so excited. I'm truly honored to be joined by this incredible woman whose life's work is dedicated to helping people heal at the deepest level. Dr. Jola-Grace Emmanuel, also known as the Soul Doctor. I love that. She is a globally recognized transformational coach, emotional health expert, and the founder of Jola-Grace Academy. With over 20 years of experience helping individuals break free from internal limitations, heal emotional wounds, and step into wholeness and purpose. Listen, we have a general on the call today. We have a general on the live today. Drawing from her professional expertise and her own powerful personal journey, Dr. Jola-Grace is committed to helping people heal deeply, grow intentionally, and live purpose-filled lives. She holds a doctorate in transformational leadership and is the visionary behind the Certified Emotional Health Practitioner Program, where she equips individuals with practical tools to heal emotional wounds, build resilience, and support others on their journey to wholeness. Dr. Jola-Grace, welcome. I'm so honored to have you tonight.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, listen, can you share a little bit about who you are, your personal experiences that shaped your journey, and what led you into this emotional health realm?
Mm. Thank you so much for having me. Like you said, I am the soul doctor. My name is Jola-Grace Emmanuel. I usually say I am committed to helping people heal, thrive, and grow. Now, man is a tripartite being. You are a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a body. And I'm a person of faith, so I will make references to the scriptures. I hope that is fine. Right.
Perfect.
3 John 2 says, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. Right. So that tells me two things, right? The prosperity of your soul, right, lies in the prosperity of other areas of your life. So when your soul is prospering, other areas of your life will prosper. It also tells me that your soul is not your spirit, because sometimes we think that your spirit and your soul, they are one and the same. So we are three in one. You are a spirit, right? So when we get born again, it is our spirit that actually gets born again, it gets renewed. That is why the Bible says in Romans 12, renew your mind. Now, the soul consists of your mind, your emotions, and your will. So your mind sits in the realm of your soul. And a lot of times, like you rightly said at the beginning of this, we pay attention to our body. We eat the right things. We do have medical checkup, annual check-in. We go to the gym. We know we use very nice skin products because we want to glow and all of that. We pay attention to our bodies, and that's good. We should. And then we pay attention to our spirit, right? So we pray. We know how to pray. We know how to fast. We know how to do all of those spiritual things. But then we forget a very important part of our being, our soul, which consists of our emotions, our will, and our mind. And the truth is, if anything goes wrong in your soul, it's going to affect your body and your spirit. I've said it so many times that medical research has actually shown that between 75 to 90% of the physical diseases that we experience in our bodies is as a result of trapped negative emotions or simply emotional wounding that we carry on our inside. It affects our bodies in things like irritable bowel syndrome, constipation sometimes, body aches, headaches, tension headaches, and so many other ways that it affects our bodies. The truth is, it also affects our spirit, right? Because we are created as relational beings, and the first relationships we're supposed to have is with God. And relationship, right? In relationships, there has to be communication. You probably heard it before. There are three important things in relationship. Number one, most important thing is communication. Number two, most important thing is communication. Number three is communication. Meaning that communication is the blood of every relationship. Now, if we say we have a relationship with God, we ought to communicate with Him, communing with Him, right? And it takes stuff from our mind. If your mind, think about someone whose mind is not coherent, right? Their cognition is not functioning properly. Can they say a prayer?
Mm.
Can they say a
Wow.
prayer? Can they read their Bible? It's nothing is wrong with their spirit, but the mind is struggling. Because the mind is struggling, it's going to affect your spirit. It's going to affect your relationship with God. Therefore, right, looking after your soul, your mind, your emotions is critical to other areas of your being. I hope I've answered your questions.
That was absolutely amazing. I love that you said that 75 to 90% of the illnesses and the infirmities that we experience in our bodies are as a result of the woundedness in our souls. That
Yeah.
is mind blowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind, because you just don't make that connection. because
Yeah.
we're taught just buy the vitamins, do the exercise, eat the right foods, and you're going to be fine. And then here it is, there are people who do all of the right things, but they
Yeah.
neglect the soul,
Yeah.
and that's fueling or feeding the body into a place of sickness and woundedness and infirmity. That is
Mm.
just so mind-blowing. And I know many people don't realize that, and they think, oh, I'm just good, and I'm okay, I'm exercising, I'm in the gym, but then they still go to the doctor and get these diagnoses, and they
Yeah.
don't, well, the doctor don't know why. Well, you
Ex-
just told us why, because
Yeah.
of the emotional woundedness. Lovely. And I you also said that when the mind struggles, then it affects your spirit and your relationship with God.
He does. He does.
Ooh, that's a little frightening.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is a little frightening, but yes, you did answer the question. I wanted to know if you could share a little bit with the audience,
Mm.
a little bit about your history. I know some of it. I heard your story, but if you could share, because a lot of times people need to understand the validity of a person who walks in a particular area. They need to understand where you started, and so if you
Mm.
could share a little bit about where you started and how you got to this place, and some of the things that you may have encountered that made you realize, hey, I'm broken. I'm wounded. I need some healing here.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to go into that, and I thought, okay, I'll wait for you to,
Go,
because
girl. Come on, bring it.
in talking about the soul, right? I often will say, I'm not just what I'm saying, everything I say, the things I've written in my books, I have 6 books all on Amazon, everything I've spoken about, they are things I've gone through in life.
Wow.
They're experiences I've had. So when I say if your soul is wounded, it affects your relationship with God, it's because I've been there. I've walked that journey, right? Where my communication with God, my relationship with Him totally broke down because my soul was shattered. It wasn't just broken, it was shattered, right?
Wow.
So here I was, every young girl dreams or have a, a dream, a fantasy of what their wedding day will look like and their marriage and how they will live happily ever after. Especially being born into a Christian home, you feel you've done all the right things. So, you should get married to somebody who
Mm,
will treat you like the princess that you think you are. And
mhm.
you think to some extent, you meet this person and you get into the relationship, and then boom, you realize that things are not the way you expect it to be, right? One of my books, Street Sense for Good Girls, somebody asked me a question, which I've actually asked myself before. Why do bad things happen to good people?
Wow.
And especially the way the person actually put it was the main question was, why do good girls, in quotes, right, often find themselves attracted to people who hurt them, often get hurt and disappointed? And I realized that it's been a pattern in my line of work. A lot of the ladies I work with, they're good people. And then they end up with this person who doesn't treat them right. And this is seems to be a pattern. There must
Wow.
be something going on here. And I started to think and research, and I realized that. So this book says Street Sense for Good Girls. And the tag that says how to blend gentle dove with wise serpents.
Wow.
So you see, it's okay to be a good girl. It's okay to do the right things. It's okay to be a gentle dove, but you need to balance it with what? Wise serpent. The wisdom of the serpent. Words of Jesus.
That's
So
right.
here I thinking that I was doing all the right things, and because I was doing all the right things, I should be rewarded with a great marriage, right? But alas, I married this person and I realized that the person was not who I thought they would be. They were, and they started to abuse me. And I was in that abusive relationship for 16 whole years, where
Wow.
I experienced every kind of abuse, from physical abuse to verbal abuse to emotional abuse to financial abuse in fact, I dare say to sexual abuse, because some people seem to think that your spouse cannot abuse you sexually, right? So I don't want to go into that, but that is a possibility. So I was there, and because of the Christian background that I come from, I felt okay. It's okay. You're here. Just pray. And people will tell you to pray. Just try to do more, be nicer, be this, be that. He will change. That's like, oh, don't worry. There's nothing God cannot do. He will change. But I realized that over the years, things actually got worse.
Wow.
It got worse by the day. It was first a slap, and then there was proper beating up, and then there was the gaslighting, and then there was the financial. It got worse every single day. That's why I say to people that listen, right? Abuse tolerated becomes aggravated.
Say that again.
Abuse tolerated becomes aggravated.
Wow.
If you keep tolerating bad behavior, you are enabling the behavior, and it's only going to get worse.
Wow.
Right? So that was one of the mistakes I made. I kept tolerating and hoping, oh, there will be a change. There will be a change. This person will change. And then what started to happen? So when I even say that is medical research, but I also lived it. That a broken heart, a broken soul, a wounded soul will affect your physical body. So it will affect your whole being, but it will affect your physical body. I started to have illnesses, diseases. I used to have migraine headaches, the kind of migraine headache that no tablet, tell me the tablet, it will not go away. I will be rolling on the floor. I'll put wet towels on my head. It will just have to go set its course.
Wow.
I used that to happen. Then it became high blood pressure. The thing was just high. It wasn't going down. What's going on? Because I was still in that relationship that was getting worse every single day. And then one day I realized that I had a lump on my shoulder. Oh, what's this lump doing here? Went went to the hospital, and the doctor said, oh, it's just a lump, it's nothing, it will be fine. 2 years after that, I realized that, oh, there's a couple more. So there were 2 more. Now 3. Okay, what's going on? Went back to the doctors, did a biopsy, and they came back and said they're sorry, it's cancerous, and they have to operate. Wow, okay, what's going on here? Now, it was after I exited and I started to train, right, as an emotional health practitioner and a therapist and all of that, that I realized that there's a direct link between pain in different parts of your body and emotional burdens, emotional wounding. Now, if you constantly, for instance, if you're struggling, people that struggle with constipation, right, you're probably holding somebody in unforgiveness. Right?
Wow.
So, yeah. So there's unforgiveness because every time you remember, there's a connection between your mood, your emotions, and the things that happen inside your body. So there are knots going on inside of you. As you remember that irritation, that bitterness is knotting the things in your stomach. I then found out that if you constantly have pain on your shoulder, right? You just have shoulder pain, like the shoulder pain. You're carrying the burden of a spouse or a child. I was like, that's interesting. But in my own case, it wasn't just pain. Because the burden was overwhelming, it was toxicity, it developed into cancerous tumors on my shoulder. I had the surgery done at the Royal Marsden Hospital in London, and the surgeons there said to me, in my decades of this work, I have never removed tumors from anybody's shoulder before. What happened? How did they get on your shoulder? Only then I couldn't answer because I didn't know why. But now I realized that it was directly connected to the years of abuse that I'd endured. And to say that If not for the grace and the mercy of God, I could have easily lost my life in that relationship.
Wow.
I could have. Because what also happened to me in the relationship was I did attempts to kill myself because it was too much. I couldn't cope. I felt just end it all. Just, that because at that point, you see, your cognition isn't functioning properly again.
Yes.
The trauma goes into your brain and distorts the chemicals, distorts everything that's going on there. So for me, coming out of that relationship, I realized that there must be something deeper, right? So what happens now? What's next? How do I move out from here?
Yes.
And I realized that I had to heal. And when I started my healing journey, a lot of things became clearer. The direct connection of the trauma in my emotions, my soul, my spirit, my body. So I say to people that, listen, trauma distorts 4 areas of your life. Distorts 4 areas of your life. Number one, distorts your perception of yourself. Right? You come out, for some people, it's childhood trauma. They experienced a lot of pain in their childhood, and they just suppressed everything. Emotions are not meant to be suppressed, they are meant to be expressed. When we suppress them, it deteriorates into diseases in our body. And a lot of people don't understand emotions. We don't see, which is why I said emotional dynamics needs to be understood by everybody.
Yes. Okay.
We all have emotions, right? So you begin to look at yourself as, I'm not worthy, I'm not valuable, there's nothing special about me. All of that is the trauma you experience talking to you. Number 2, it will distort your perception of other people. So very easily you can begin to say, so for instance, in my own case, I can begin to say, all men are, what they say, all men are this, all men are bad, all men are that, because one man hurts me, right? And I would balance that in a minute. Number 3, it affects your perception of the world. You think the world is a bad place. The world is a wicked place. Oh, this world, I don't trust anybody. You can't. So you just think that the world is not kind to you.
Yes.
Trauma. The 4th one, which is very important when I talked about the spirit, is trauma distorts your perception of God.
Talk about that.
Yeah. I did a teaching on Sunday about, the title was God is Good. But the question is, are you experiencing His goodness in every area of your life? Because we have the head knowledge, but do you actually have the rema that is good? And oftentimes we struggle to actually, in our core, believe that God is good because of the negative experiences we have been through.
Yes.
Because we say to ourselves, if God is good, why did this happen to me? Why did that happen to me? Why did this happen to this person? Right? So trauma distorts your perception of God. You begin to think God. And so for me, in that case, after I came out, I was trying to, find my feet and say, okay, I said, God, but really, why would you allow this person? And I'll just say this is in public domain anyway. The person I got married to was a pastor. Right? So for me, it was, I really had a bone to pick with God. Because I was like, God, I don't know if this relationship is going to move from here. I don't know what's going to happen, because how would you allow somebody that calls himself a pastor, somebody who represents you, to treat me this bad? It was a lot of, I can't even, I don't even have time. It was a lot. So I said,
Wow.
God, why would you allow this to happen? Is this faith thing, is it even real? Is it a scam? Is it, the contradiction didn't make sense in my head. And I sat there like, God, no. And
Wow.
I didn't want to go to church. I didn't want to do anything. I just was like, I have people say, oh, come on. No, guys, you guys, I'm all right. You go. I didn't want to be a Christian again. and I shot. What happened? Trauma.
Wow.
And I will balance it because there will be somebody watching us who probably is feeling like that one human being hurt you so much. The person is connected to maybe a church or a faith that you represent, and you just don't feel like you really want to be a person of faith again, no matter the faith that you represent. I sat there and I said, God, I really need you to, help me understand what's going on. And it led me to Matthew chapter 7, where it started to say that by their fruits they shall be known. And then it started to say that on the last day, for me, that verse was my answer. On the last day, many will come to me and say, Lord, Lord, we did so mighty miracles in your name. He didn't just say we did miracles in your name. Emphasis on mighty miracles. So it's saying to you, just start, as I'm talking, start picturing mighty miracles in an in a crusade, church, something. It says, we cast out demons in your name. We prophesied in your name that when we say that this is going to happen, that person is going to become the president. The person became the president. He now said, but I will say to them, my goodness, this, woo! He said, I will say to them, depart from me, ye workers of iniquity. For I used to know you before and then we fell out. No. For I never knew you. I screamed. I said, no, say that again, Lord. I didn't, no, let's go over that again. You what? They didn't mind the miracles. They prophesied. They cast out demons, and you never knew them. What's going on here? And said, is the works. The works. By this shall men know that you are my disciples. How? The works. By their fruits.
That's right.
So it's not by your charisma. It's not by what you say. It's by their fruits. The fruits of the Spirit, patience, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness. So, and coming back to when I was talking about distortion, right? That trauma can distort your perception of others, a particular gender, or people from a particular part of the world because one person hurt you. So, for instance, a guy hurts you and you say, all men are bad. I often ask the question, approximately there's about 8 billion people in the world, about half of that are men. So let's just say 4 billion men. One man hurt you. Or let's even say you've been with, like that woman, you've been with 6 guys. They all hurt you. What percentage of that, right? If we, mathematicians, what fraction of that is to all of the men in the whole world? So let's even be generous and give you like 1,000 men. 1,000 men to 4 billion men. So you see, that is just a mental belief based on trauma and your emotional wound, right? To say that but really all men are not bad because there's only 1,000 men that have hurt me. Right?
So 4 billion.
4 billion. If you don't understand emotions, you don't understand the dynamics of emotions, you will make assumptions like that will keep sabotaging you.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Awesome. That was, listen, we probably need like a whole conference just to have you come. It's you are so full and you're so passionate about this of the weeks that I have known you and been a part of your academy. I can feel the passion that you have for wanting people to be healed, and it comes from that place of having experienced so much. And you touched on so many things. I love that you brought up the fact of how sometimes people are angry with God because of what a person did to them. right? And then they're mad at an entire
And
species because
sorry to
one
cut you.
person.
Let me just quickly say that human beings can misrepresent God to us.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And so we instead of taking it out on the person, or just keeping the focus there, we say, well, God, you told me to marry this man, and you told me that marriage is honorable, and I have to stay based on what I've been taught, and all of these things, and I have to continue to take. It's not that doesn't have to even be marriage. It can be any kind of relationship with somebody in the kingdom,
Yeah.
and you blame God for man's behavior. And so
Yeah.
I love that, you brought that out, and I'm happy that you teach on how to regulate those emotions, how to put them in the proper perspective, and so that you can deal with them, you can manage them, and in a way that you can come out of this thing healthy, with a healthy mindset, and not be deceived. You've gone through so much, and you covered a lot of the questions I wanted to ask in that area, but I wanted you to talk a little bit about why do you think people avoid dealing with their emotions?
So you see, we call it emotional wounding. It's a wound. And for you to go and get a wound treated, you will feel pain. Right? I had a wound, a cut to my finger some weeks ago, and they had to stitch it. Even though they said they given me anesthesia, I can never pronounce that.
Anesthesia.
Oh, my tongue twisted right there. I still felt the pain. I know sometimes pain is actually in your imagination, it's not real.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. The mind is so powerful. Your mind, if you think that something is going to pain you, even before it starts to pain you, you're already feeling the pain because it's in the realm of the mind. You think that once they give you that injection, you will not feel any pain, is also in your mind. It's all in the mind. So you see, people avoid dealing with emotional wounding because initially it's painful.
Yes.
If I didn't get my finger stitched, if I didn't go through that temporarily initial pain, I probably will experience a worse pain in the future because the hand will not heal, it might degenerate, there might be infection and all of that. So a lot of times people don't want to, it's safer to just keep going with the motions. Keep going with the motions. Oh, I don't want to go there. I don't want to talk about that. But the fact is, you have to choose the pain you want to deal with. Do you want to deal with the temporary pain of pausing, right? Open it because they will open up the wound. We will clean it up. We will put some band-aid on it. We will keep checking it and keep checking it until it starts to heal. In some cases, some injuries might require physiotherapy. So somebody comes and is walking you, helping you to walk again and all of that. So people sometimes think, oh, I'm just gonna. And I was talking about functional depression the other day, that a lot of people have emotional wounding, but rather than pause to look at it, deal with it, take care of it, they just keep functioning. So we call that, right, suppressing your pain or repressing your pain. The fact that you are functioning doesn't mean that somebody's okay.
Wow. Say that one more. Say that one more time.
The fact that someone is functioning doesn't mean that they are emotionally okay. And sometimes people don't know the difference between someone who is functioning and dealing with emotional wounding and somebody who is not. You will just see that there are some things that they are doing and it's upsetting you. But because you don't understand, you are then reacting to what they are doing. So, which is why, again, understanding emotional dynamics is a must. for every one of us that deal with people.
Awesome. Awesome. That is so powerful that people can be depressed. They can have these emotional wounds, but they're still on the hamster wheel. They're still doing life as usual. They're still going through life as usual. And only at certain points you may see an outburst. Some point you may see a manifestation, and then you want to attack the person or you want to deal, but you're not understanding that the way they're acting comes out of the emotional wounds that they are carrying and trying to conceal.
Yeah.
Trying to conceal while they continue to function. They're probably in like this fight or flight mode where it's like, I just want to survive. I just want to get through one more day.
Yeah.
And I can say for myself, I've been in that place where I felt all I could do was get through one more day. That was my goal. If I could get through one more day, just let me get through one more day. I was emotionally depressed. I was showing up, and I was showing up for other people.
Yeah.
But I was not showing up for myself.
You see, it is skill. Especially if you are a skilled person, you've learned a skill, right? So if I've learned to make clothes, for instance, I've learned that skill, right? If I'm having headache, I can still function in that skill. I haven't forgotten how to make clothes, right?
So
if I'm having stomach pain, I still haven't forgotten how to make the clothes, right? If I'm so tired, I can still make the clothes because it's a skill that I have. And so, unfortunately, a lot of people are running on autopilot.
Wow.
I know. I mean, I'm already a mother, so I just need to be a mother. I just need to be a husband. I just need to be a wife. I just need to show up and speak. I just need to do this and do that, right? While not focusing on what is going on the inside. So you see, you go out, you do everything you are doing. There are three major chemicals in the brain that affect motivation, reward, satisfaction, and then energy. So you see, you have the serotonin, the dopamine, and the adrenaline. And a lot of people work up their adrenaline. It gets them through the things that they need to do. It's pumping, and you keep doing. So they never actually want to stop. So there is ever no space that they are not doing something.
Wow.
Because the doing is helping them forget the pain, the emotional wound, and the trauma they're experiencing. But listen, right? Evading the pain inside your wound, evading your emotional pain, or not paying attention to it doesn't make the pain go away.
Oh, wow.
It's still there.
So it's still there.
Yeah, it's there.
It's not going anywhere until you deal with it.
No, it's not going anywhere until deal
But
with
what
it.
but what if I get the job I want? What if I'm in the penthouse, and what if I have the corner office?
You can be absolutely anywhere. So I often compare emotional wound with physical wound, right? So imagine that somebody's got a wound on their hand, their leg, a part of their body, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about this wound. Let me just get to the penthouse. Let me just keep climbing the ladder of my career." Is that going to heal the wound?
No.
The wound is still there. So you can do everything. In fact, you can buy very expensive jackets and wear it so that people don't see your wound. It doesn't still mean that the wound is not there. You can tell yourself this wound is not there, it's not there. But maybe it's time for you to use that hand to, go up or lift something. You say, sorry, I can't do that. Why can't you do it? I just can't do that. Or somebody comes and wants to hug you real tight. You can scream, like, don't hug me. But I'm not saying don't hug me because I don't want you to hug me, but because I'm hurting. If you hug me, it's going to hurt me. So you see, we still act out the wound because the wound is there.
So good. Oh, so good. So good. I was about to ask you to give us 2 or 3 signs so that that will help us recognize when a person is dealing with emotional woundedness or they need emotional healing. What are like the top 2 or 3 things that we can see to help us to recognize when a person is in need of emotional healing? And those were good.
Thank you so much for that. So you see, not a lot. Some people live their life in a reactive zone. They're always reacting.
Okay.
Oh, why didn't you say hello to that person? Well, he didn't say hello to me. Why should I say hello to him? Oh, this is because of what he did. Well, I have to do. I just did what he did. I mean. So we're always reacting. We're never acting on purpose. So
Okay.
someone who has no control over their emotions. So is either they're always having anger outbursts. So they normally say they are, well, some people say 6, some people say 4, some people say 3. Major reaction to emotional wounding. So number 1 is flight, right? And I'll use that to explain everything I talk about. So flight is you just want to run away from everything.
Oh, wow.
You don't want to confront any issues. You don't have any boundaries in your life, right? Yeah, I mean, in every relationship, there will be conflicts because we are not the same. We are different, unique individuals. And sometimes we will see things from different perspective. So we can disagree and agree. I can say, oh, I don't like the way you place that flower vase. I think you should have placed it like this. Oh, no. But I think it should be like this. So we go back and forth and say, okay, why don't we put it like this? We've agreed. But I don't like the way you put that flower vase there and I say nothing. I'm like, oh no, I can't say anything. If I say something, she might think, he might think, and then if he thinks, then we just spiral in our head. We don't want to confront. We're just fleeing. So it's the flight. We flee anything that has to do with confrontation.
Yes.
Right? We tolerate under flight, right? So talking about flight, we tolerate negative behavior. When people hurt us, we can't say, oh, what you did hurts me. We just keep quiet and absorb everything.
Wow.
We blame ourselves for other people's mistakes.
Oh, wow.
Somebody's made a mistake, you just think, oh, it must be me. They probably did what they did because you find a way to rope yourself into other people's problems.
Wow.
Because you never want to confront anything. You just want to keep fleeing and running away from issues that you're supposed to deal with. Right? You can't stand up for yourself. When people hurt you or when it's time for you to stand up, you just run away from all those responsibilities. Under flight can also be, right, the fact that you don't engage in relationships. Your relationships are very peripheral, right? You never really open up yourself because I'm trying to protect my heart. You see people that say, oh, I'm trying to protect my heart. I'm trying to protect myself. So you run away. Whether you don't even pause to see whether the relationship is healthy or not. Just, oh, somebody's coming. You will see some people have these traits. When it's time to commit in relationships, they disappear. It's gone. Right? Because they can't deal. They are always fleeing. Flight, fleeing. And then we have fight. Right? You will see people who always respond to everything with fight. There has to be strife. Like the strife gives them life.
Wow. Strife gives them life.
Yeah. I mean, if there's no strife, they're not alive. So they always have to look for something. You might just say, oh, hi, how are you? Why are you saying how? Why are you asking me that? Why do you have to ask me how I am? It's none of your business. And you're like, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. I was just, no, you don't have to. Everybody, any small thing, they are reacting to something. There's a quote that says, if you don't heal from what hurt you, you will bleed on the people who didn't cut you.
Oh.
Let me give you a shocking statistics I checked some time ago. It has been said that 67% of second marriages end in divorce. 67%. And 74% of third marriages end in divorce. What an alarming statistics. How? I mean, you would have thought that by the second time they're doing it, they should work. By the third time, oh my goodness, they should absolutely work. But it's not working. It's breaking down Why? Because those parties have not paused to deal with their emotional wounds. And so when they get into that new relationship, they are relating with that new person. So let's say you married A, there was a problem, A hurt you, you divorced A, and then you married B. Now, when you're in the marriage with B, you are relating with B as if B is A. So when
Wow.
B says, honey, can we go to the supermarket tomorrow?
Mhm.
Antenna is up. No, 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 no. We can't go to the supermarket. Why should we go to the supermarket? B is wondering, it's only the supermarket. Why is there a problem? Calm down. Why then? But probably you got triggered because anytime you went to the supermarket with A will make you carry all the groceries. A will make you use your money. A will do so. B is only innocently saying, but then you are treating B as if it is A that you're living with. And when that happens persistently, no matter how nice B is, no matter how good B is, everybody has a limit. We have emotional cap.
Wow.
And so one day B will just be like, okay, I really can't do this. I want to do it, but we fight every day.
Wow.
Just a sign that this person hasn't healed. They're still carrying the emotional wounds around. Phone is another one, right? You're phoning, you really want to be in everybody's good books, right? In this kind of response, you absolutely have no boundaries. You are absolutely a people pleaser. You
Wow.
say yes to everything. Oh, you come? Oh, yes, I'll come. Oh, yeah, yes, I'll come. Even when it's not convenient for you, you keep going and sacrificing. I say to people that say, listen, being described as a very strong person is not necessarily always a compliment. It isn't. Because, of course, emotional wounding makes people have low self-esteem. You think you're not good enough. So you're looking for things, people, to feed that esteem. And one of the ways as people's esteem is fed when they're emotionally wounded is by feeling needed, right? So when
Wow.
people ask you to come and do stuff, you feel, oh, I'm needed. That means I'm valuable. Oh, somebody wants to call me and dump on me, when I'm not a therapist, but I will listen because I feel I'm needed. So I'm valuable. But by the time
Wow.
they finish talking to me, I can't even move from my bed. I can't do anything again because I don't know how to handle all the emotions they have dumped on me. But
Oh
tomorrow,
my.
I'm going to allow them to dump on me because I'm feeling needed. And that is boosting my ego because I feel, oh, okay, I must be important. But that is
Wow.
self-sabotage because it's not sustainable. Right. So yeah, I mean, in the nutshell, that's some of it. There's still so many more. People's opinion. You're so bothered about what people think. You base all your decisions based on what people think. Low self-esteem, comparing yourself with other people, thinking, oh, okay, what is she wearing? What is he wearing? And all of that just means that you need to do some work on your emotions.
Woo! What? Woo! That's like in your face. And I know many of our viewers are probably, I pray that you guys are taking a moment to really
Mm.
just breathe. First of all, take a
Yeah, yeah.
moment
Box breathing.
because it's a lot. Because what she just did was push us into a place where we have to become emotionally aware, where we have to be aware of what's going on inside of us. And she just showed us that one of the ways to be emotionally aware is to pay attention to our behaviors, pay attention to our mannerisms, pay attention to our habits and the things we do and the things how we react and respond in certain situations, and so that we can recognize these things. And some of you are probably experiencing that right now. You're probably at that aha moment and you're probably saying, that's why or that's what happened when or now I understand why right?
Mm.
So take a moment and don't run. We're not going into flight mode.
Yeah.
You're not going to fight against it, right?
Mm.
You're not going to just say, well, it is what it is. You're not going to be in that place of fun. You're just not going to say, no. What you're going to do is realize I have some work to do, that there's some work that needs to take place inside of me, that there's some woundedness that I have to deal with so that I can be healthy and I can be whole, so that I can be the greatest version of who I've ever been my entire life. And so this has just been so amazing. Oh my goodness, this has been so good. I wanted to talk about triggers a bit. Because you said something when we were in a session one time, that as long as we live, triggers will always exist,
Yeah.
right? And so now that we understand how to be aware and the importance of being self-aware and how we can kind of identify these areas within us, talk a little bit about triggers and their role in our emotional health.
Yeah. You're right about that. We were sharing in class on one of the sessions and talking about, in fact, what I say, is that you're your first client, right? And that
Yes.
as long as you're living on this earth, there will always be triggers. And sometimes, if you don't understand triggers, you will mismanage, you will misappropriate your relationships. You will.
Yes.
Again,
Yes.
this is the journey I went through. So not only did I go through 16 years of domestic violence and abuse, in a cumulative period of 8 years, I was involuntarily ostracized from my children. Those were the most painful 8 years of my life. And for me, when I see people, hanging about with their children, it was a trigger for me, a big trigger. Right?
Wow.
If I'm going out, maybe I'm taking a walk in the morning, I see children going to school, I will start to cry.
Oh.
In the afternoon, I see them coming back from school, I will start to cry. I'm like, where are my children? My children are not with me. I can't even, talk to them and all of that. And then I would lock myself up. I will make sure I would check the time. I will not go for a walk when they are coming from home or going to school. That helped. But then I get to church. There are children in church. Oh, it's time for children to go to their church. They stand and I look, oh, mine are not here. I will be talking to my siblings. The children are there. And then it dawned on me, this trigger is not going to go away. There's really nothing you can do not to see children.
Yep.
So you see, imagine me getting upset with my friends, people in church that have children. I'm like, oh, well, no, I don't want to talk to you. No, I'm not coming to your house. No, I don't. And why are they flaunting that? They're not flaunting their children. They're just living their normal life.
Yes.
Sometimes you say, oh, because I have this issue in my own marriage, you're flaunting your marriage. They're not flaunting their marriage. They're just living.
Yes. So good.
They're just
so good.
normal life. And I need to first of all recognize that is a trigger for me. Wow. So number one, to deal with triggers, you need to be self-aware.
Yes.
What are the things that will trigger me? And sometimes, so you see, there was a time that if something as I would say as small as watching a movie where there is an undertone of abuse, maybe the movie, the man or the woman, because abuse is not gender biased. I say that a lot, right? Women abuse men, abuse women. I can be watching a movie, I'll start to see how the tone is going. I won't even wait till the end. It's gone. Because it's true, it was triggering to me. It was bringing back the painful memory of what I experienced. And the thing about trigger is, well, this is how to know that this is a trigger. The trigger brings back a painful memory of what you experienced, and you feel the pain in the now as if you are feeling it when it was happening to you.
Oh, wow.
That's why people run away from triggers, because I'm watching that movie and I'm feeling like the person that abused me is actually abusing me in the now, or they are in my space right now. So I don't want that. Right? So I will not watch it. I would, it's no, or something happened to you in childhood, maybe sexual abuse, and somebody is recounting their experience, you are triggered. And you're like, I don't want to watch this. Or I don't want to, you just sort of disengage yourself from it. But the truth is, we're still living in this world.
Yes.
People will sometimes talk about your case without even knowing.
Wow.
Imagine two people meet each other, guys, they are still talking and having fun. And somebody say, oh, your mom started talking about the person's mom, not knowing that that person's mom is dead.
Wow.
Now, are you going to blame that person for because you can't go about asking people, is your mom alive or is your mom dead? I mean, that's going to be weird.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's even going to be more weird. So you see, that person needs to be prepared that, okay, people are having conversation and maybe, some of these are really painful.
Yes.
Loss of a parent, loss of a child, loss of a job or something. They're all painful experiences. And people will talk about them, not knowing that you're dealing with it or you dealt with it. So you
Yeah.
can't go about getting angry with everybody
Wow.
or isolating yourself from everybody because they are not out to hurt you. They are just living life. It's me that I've recognized that this is a trigger. How do I deal with it? Right? So yes, these are children. They're amazing children. They're a blessing. I'm happy
Yes.
my friends' children are with them. So how can I be a blessing to these children? Right, yeah, mine are not with me at the moment, but I mean, these children are here. I can, give an advice, help
Yeah.
out, look after them when their mom can't. What else can I do? It is the way I interpret it.
Yes.
And you see, interpreting triggers is a skill. It's one of the things that we teach, at the academy, understanding how to interpret it, how to know exactly what is going on. It's a skill that you need to learn. But understand that triggers are part of life. You can't get away from them.
Not at all. Not at all. This has been so insightful, Coach. This has been so insightful. There's so much information, and we could not possibly squeeze everything into one night, into one show. But,
No.
good for you and good for us.
Mhm.
Dr. Grace Jola-Grace is actually the founder of Jola-Grace Academy, and she has this program called CEHP, which is Certified Emotional Health Practitioner. And I wanted to bring her on to talk to us about emotional health as well as to present to us the program, right?
Yeah.
I thought I was getting involved with the program because as a coach and as a pastor and as a speaker and someone who lead people, I thought, oh, this will just be one more thing in my hat. There'll be one more thing in my bag that I can help people with. I had no idea that my life was going to be turned upside down. I had no idea I would begin to discover the things about myself that I
Mm.
did not realize were there.
Mm.
Did you hear me? I
Yeah.
didn't. There were things that have been unveiled in my
Mm.
own process that I
Mm.
did not realize affected how I did life today. Things
Yeah.
that happened when I was a child, things when at different stages of my life that took place, I'm seeing the residue or the manifestation of those things in my life today, in the way I relate in life, in the way I carry myself, in the way I do certain things. And I understand now they were rooted in this emotional place, these emotional traumas and woundedness and things in my life and I had not even realized.
Mm.
Thank God for his grace and thank God, for his mercy that has carried me. But I'm telling you, this has been such a life-changing course. And even if you decide to take the course just so that you can get on that journey, it's worth it for just that.
Mm.
If you never say, well, I want to go be a practitioner, I want to help other people heal, although what great reward is that when you go out and you're able to help someone else. But you take this course because she's taught us your first client is you. You are your first client. So
Mm.
you are going to work on your own. You're going to start your own journey. You're going to work on your own wounds. You're going to work on your own areas in your life that need to be dealt with. And so that when you do come through. You do get the certification. Now you're equipped and you're authorized and you're certified to be someone who can help other people in their journey. So talk to us a little bit about that. Tell us who this course is designed for, and what can participants expect if they get involved with the certified emotional health practitioner program you offer.
Awesome. So the course is for everybody and anybody, to be fair, right? Like I said at the beginning, we're all, can you still hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So we're all emotional beings, right? We are created with emotions. And I don't have time to even show us, for those of us who are people of faith, through the scriptures, how people uh, dealt with emotions, how people exhibited different emotions. One that comes to mind real quick is Elijah, right? In the book of Kings, First Kings, we see Elijah after this mighty, let's say, mighty crusade of dealing with the prophets of Baal and all of that, and then he gets a threat, right, from, let's say, the president's wife, and then what happens to him, to Elijah? The Bible says he was afraid and he ran. A whole big prophet getting scared and running. Not only that, he was so depressed, he was suicidal, he had suicidal ideation. He told God to kill him.
Wow.
So you see, we all deal with emotions. We are, whether you believe, because I've had people say to me, I don't believe in emotions. I'm like, what? It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. If someone says, I don't believe there's a sky, yeah, what are you talking about? Sky doesn't exist. I can just look up and see God. Well, well done. We're not going to argue with you. Whether you believe in it or not, it does exist.
Yes.
Emotions are real. They have the power to control our lives if we don't understand the dynamics. So whether you're a leader, you're a pastor, you're a manager, you're a team lead, or you're a parent, right? You pour yourself into people, you relate with people, you have to understand emotions.
Yes.
Understanding emotions, right, helps you, gives you an edge as a leader, as a parent, because then you are not reacting to people because you understand, okay, this person is doing this because of this. I know how to handle this. Right. And over time as well, a lot of leaders, people in position of authority, we carry other people's pain. We carry their expectations, right?
Yes.
And then we are carrying so much that it can be very easy to lose yourself or to become emotionally drained.
Absolutely.
One truth is clear: you cannot help people effectively if you do not understand emotions deeply. You can't.
So good.
And that's why we created the certification in emotional health practice program, right? It's a life taught 12-week virtual training. It's not a self-paced course that you just watch a video. No, you come to class every week, right? And you are taught, we have interventions, we go through assessment.
Yes.
And the first thing I say to them, in fact, let me see if I can bring up the curriculum real quick, right? The first thing I say to them in class is, you are your first client.
Yes.
So we have 6 modules and 12 classes. Introduction to emotional healing, emotional intelligence essentials. We look at the roots of emotional wounds. Then we look at patterns of dysfunction. Then we look at inner healing tools and techniques. Then we look at restoring your identity and wholeness, coaching for emotional healing, facilitation and group dynamics, applied practices. Then we look at role play and practicum. Then we look at ethics in boundaries and emotional healing. And then we start to look at how to build a career, if you want to build a career in emotional healing, right? Because like I said, the first 6 classes, you are working on yourself. As an emotional health practitioner, you are your first client. So a lot of the assignments, like you see, is do this with yourself, check this, do that, check this. Because once you can do with yourself, you can easily do with other people. You can do it with your children, with your spouse. You can understand people's emotions, right? So this is a course that I believe everybody needs to take. It's an investment you need to make in yourself. Now, the Bible says, your mind, guard your heart with all diligence, and the heart is used interchangeably as your soul. Out of it comes the issues of life. A lot of people, because they don't understand emotional dynamics, they self-sabotage.
Wow.
So, see, your productivity is reduced. You lose relationships because you don't understand emotional dynamics. So this is an investment that you make in yourself.
Yes.
And understanding that whatever knowledge that you make in your brain, you make in your head is there. Nothing. So I say to people that people can steal things from you. You can steal your necklace, your watch, your house, your car, and all of that.
Mhm.
What you have here, they can't steal it.
They
That's
can't.
why you billionaires, right? They make an investment, they lose money. They don't go into depression and say, my life is over. No, because the knowledge I used to make that money is still here. I can always make it back. So when you invest into your mind, you are investing into your life.
So
When you
good.
understand emotional dynamics, you are on another level as a leader, as a pastor, as a coach, as a parent. Because now you lead with a difference. You understand people, you get more out of the people you are leading with. And you yourself know how to manage yourself so you don't become emotionally drained or
Yes.
start you can start to because when people get tired, you are drained, you start to reflect in your leadership. You now know how to manage yourself. So yes, it's amazing. And also just to say that we are accredited by the Master Leadership University. So you get a certificate. There are two levels of certificates of practice and certificates of completion. Right. So for those who want to go ahead and practice, we take you through a period where you actually do some one-on-one coaching yourself, and we mark that. So is a full we go all the way the whole 9 yards for you to be able to go through and just become that emotional health expert. Yeah.
Absolutely. This has been amazing. Now, listen, this is March is Women's History Month.
Mm.
And our esteemed coach, Dr. Jola-Grace, has so graciously offered us a discount for women.
Mm.
Woohoo! And so she's offering, guys, listen, 40% off of the original price for enjoying this or being involved into this program, which is generally somewhere around $1,100 plus. Come on, I said 1,100, right? And so she's giving us a 40% off as women if you enroll to be a part of this certification program. Now, you may want to just be a part, as she said, just because you want to heal. Just because you know what enough is enough, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're like, I have to deal with this. And the fact is, you won't be going through it alone.
Yeah.
You're going through it in a safe place. You're going through it with someone who understands the medicine, emotional medicine that they're practicing, right?
Mm. Mm.
And who has been there and done that, right? And so it's just so advantageous for you to be a part of this wonderful 12-week experience so that you can be equipped to heal yourself and then to turn around and to begin to help other people begin to heal. And so if you are interested, I have placed the QR code here on the screen. You can take a screenshot. The flyer is here. Also with the QR code, if you want to enroll into this course, it is so phenomenal. If you lead anyone, and I love that she said, if you're a parent and you're leading your children, if you're teaching Sunday school, if you're leading in ministry, if you're leading in the workplace, if you're leading in any way and not and beyond leading, if you're just leading yourself, because as a leader, you have to lead yourself well before you can lead anyone else. And so you want to take advantage of this. Join us in this certification. It's been life-changing for me. God is some of the techniques that I've learned in this course for the and people from our church can attest. I have begun to allow the Lord to use those techniques to implement wonderful sessions in our ministry. And God is doing such a wonderful thing, coupled along with my husband as he's ministering. God is doing such an amazing thing in Heart of God Ministry, because a lot of it comes from what I learned as being a part of this particular course. So ladies, gentlemen, you can come as well. But ladies, you want to take advantage of 40% discount. And again, it's here, the right there on the screen. You can right there with the QR code. And I just want to thank all of you. I want to thank our esteemed guests for being here tonight with us. She has so much. She's so full, y'all. We're gonna try to get her to Florida, ladies. Y'all get ready. We're gonna try to get her to Florida, so we can have a healing room experience. I just felt that. Woo!
It's room.
Coming. Stay tuned, ladies. I just felt the presence of God when I said that. So y'all know how we do it. So I believe that we're going to have a healing room, and we're going to allow God to use this great woman of God to really be a blessing to us in that way. But listen, you want to be a part of this course that's coming up, and so that you can begin your journey as well as help others through their journey. Thank you all for joining us tonight. You have been great. You have been phenomenal. But even after we go off air, share this with people you know. You guys know now how to recognize when people need healing. So now you know. Oh, you thought it all about anyway, but now you know. And so until we come together again, thank you so much for being a part of this broadcast. This has been a MaxLife Moment with Natalie B. Green and my esteemed guest, Dr. Jola-Grace Emmanuel. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful night. God bless you. We love you all.
Okay, then. Bye.